Pickleball addicts, let me hear you put your hands together for K.Yates and C.Smith. Let's keep it going for the brother sister team, Riley and Lindsay Newman. I think the folks are in for a heck of a day. This match will not disappoint. Goes on the ball to the Cali. Who's ready for some free stuff? If you're in the bleachers, you get some free stuff. Support the PPA. There we go. Oh my gosh. The two Connors, let's give it up for Connor Ogden and Connor Pardo bringing some soda pops into the stands. These guys, let's give them a hand for the amazing first PPA event ever. Put your hands together for the two Connors. And they would want me to say to the whole PPA team, thank you so much for everyone coming out today to see some great pickleball. You guys ready to see Kyle and Callie take on Riley and Lindsay?
And the Newmans are going to be serving to K.Smith and K.Yates, two players that we saw earlier today. And right away, aggressive play from K.Yates. We see a tweener early on. It's more of an accidental shot there. Wow. So I was watching the players warm up here, and K.Yates and K.Smith, I mean, they always look sharp when they're out there. They looked really sharp out there in this warm up. So we're going to see, they're going to try to get out to a quick start. Newmans are going to have to work hard here, I think, to kind of neutralize them early. Two good backhand defensive blocks from Smith, and then on that third ball, she's able to put away the high forehand volley. Yes, Quinton, they are using the Durafast 40. You win 1 million pro pickleball bucks. Newmans are so patient. They're happy to play those dinks all day long, try to outlast their opponents, and that's exactly what happened there. K.Smith tries to pull the trigger a little too early. Players are going to have to be willing to stay out there for a while here in this match. That's a really great forehand volley. It's interesting she can hit that shot, that angle. It's partly due to the grip she uses. Semi-Western forehand grip, almost like she's holding a frying pan, and with that grip, she can actually really hit that down the line shot, even though in most cases it would be a down the middle or cross court shot with the forehand, just because the angle of the paddle created by the grip. Speaking of grips, take a look at the Newman's grips. They use semi-Western, almost full Western grips themselves. There we go. We were talking earlier about the short, low return being an option. Tough to drive the ball and still keep the ball in play there. So it's something I'm paying attention to, and you can as well. You're going to see R.Newman take up a lot of space. There we go. So that's going to be a pattern we see again and again here, where Lindsay Newman, she's going to go far over to the left side of the court, sometimes even setting up with at least 1 foot outside of the sideline, looking for that forehand Ernie. You can see why. It's a very strong forehand volley. And R.Newman, he's going to do the majority of the work running around, covering the middle of the court for his sister while she's off to the side. It's a good counterattack by K.Smith on the backhand side. She's got a lot of power on that side. Quick reminder to hit that share button so your friends can see this great pickleball action here live in Mesa. K.Yates hits that. K.Yates hits the net post. He was hoping that ball was going to go a little bit wider so we could play a full around the post shot. Didn't quite get there. 3-1-2. It's a good spot to put that volley down low. Notice that Lindsay Newman didn't even hit it that hard. But the fact that it was low made it difficult for Kyle to pick it up. 1-3-1. K.Yates recognizing the patterns they're going with here, especially in that situation where they're crossing. Newman's thought they had a down-the-line option open. Kyle anticipated it and jumped the corner. It's one of the reasons he's as good as he is. Thanks, Autumn, for sharing the stream. Other people, too. Hit that share button, and all your pickleball friends can see this great action here. Pro mixed doubles. The PPA Grand Slam qualifier. That's what we're talking about there from Lindsay Newman. Look how far she went over. Had 1 foot behind the non-volley line. Another foot outside of the sideline. That lets her get a little bit closer to the net so she can get the ball when it's still high enough to attack. 3-3-2. Nice poach there. Riley Newman coming across, putting away that high forehand volley. K.Yates can't quite catch up to that backhand attack from Newman. 5-3-2 is the score. Not a K.Yates playing dangerously close on that cross-court drop.
Second call, Chapman and Dykus. Chapman and Dykus, second call to the tournament cap.
You'll notice here that Newmans are playing with Lindsay on the right-hand side of the court now. Could be the case that they're trying to set up where this is the exact pattern we're talking about, where they can go down the line, where Lindsay wants to be able to go at Callie from straight ahead like that. And so sometimes you'll see players switch in order to get the kind of matchup that they want. There's going to be a quick timeout while these players have a hydration break. We're going to take one ourselves. We're going to be back in a moment. More.
The day before I start match day in pickleball, I make sure I have all my electrolytes. I would use the normal sports drinks that I grew up using. I started taking Jigsaw electrolytes. It's been beneficial and helped my game improve a lot. I know that throughout the day, I'm going to be fine for those 12 to 14 hours if it takes that long. My body's going to hold up. So that was great, not having to worry about one more thing besides just playing pickleball.
Welcome back to Championship Court, where Riley Newman and Lindsay Newman have a slight lead against their opponents, K.Yates and C.Smith. We've seen a lot of poaching, a lot of crossing. We had earlier someone asking about that, and the decision should always be, whether you're talking about men's doubles or women's doubles or mixed doubles, is always you want your stronger player taking more of the balls when possible. The player who, and this is no different from other sports, right? If you think about basketball or hockey or football, you want your best players getting the ball as often as possible. And so that's why players will divide the court the way they do, where some players will poach more than others. And of course, sometimes you can overdo it and go for balls that are outside of the range you should be going for. But sometimes you need to take that risk in order to get the reward. There's a good example, right? Riley Newman coming across, poaching that ball far over to the left side, missed it. But even though he missed that shot, he's sending a message to Yates and Smith. He's communicating that they better watch out, because he's not just going to stay on his side and allow them to put the ball wherever they want easily. And so even if you lose the point when poaching, it's a great double-handed backhand from C.Smith. She even liked that one herself. So even if you lose the point when poaching, if it was a smart time to do it, you can send a message, you can apply pressure to the opponents going forward, and it can pay off later. Riley Newman can't quite get that ball up and over the net. All right, we're going to be back in 1 minute live here at the PPA event in Mesa. So between Third Shot Sports, the Pickleball Lab, and Pickleball Coaching International, we got you covered. 5-6-1 is the score. K.Yates serving to R.Newman. Five, 6-2. K.Smith does a good job of getting that ball down into the feet of Lindsay Newman. Tough to defend from down there. It's one of the reasons you try to get up close to the net to get that high ball so you can play downward on that kind of an angle. Nicely played by K.Smith right at the body of Lindsay. 7-6-2 is the score. Quick hands from R.Newman, able to handle that attack from Yates and counterattack with one of his own. An aggressive poach from R.Newman. Lindsay countering, moving back to the left side where she started. There you go, and with that ball in the net, the crowd shows their appreciation of a point. Hard fought, as most of these points have been. R.Newman serving at 7-7-1 as he spins it deep into the body of K.Smith. There you go. Nice combination there. K.Smith used that first attack, that initial flick right at the body of Lindsay Newman, not necessarily to win the point, but hoping that Newman might set it up a little bit for a put away, and she did. There we see it again, another example of that 1-2 punch coming off the forehand side of K.Smith. Nice counterattack there, this time off the backhand side from Smith. She was sitting on that backhand after a couple times in a row, Lindsay Newman going at the forehand. Gotta think Smith was ready for an attack to the left side, and she was there for it. R.Newman was there for that. 8-7-2. K.Yates is so deceptive with that backhand attack. He hardly brings his paddle back at all. Makes you think that it's going to be hard to attack with any speed, but he finds a way. So strong with that right wrist. K.Yates does a good job attacking that ball. These players are going to take a hydration break. We're going to take one as well. This one is sponsored by Jigsaw Health. We're going to be back in a minute with more from Mesa. Welcome back to Championship Court here at the Pro Pickleball Association Grand Slam Qualifier. We've got game point here, 10-7-2. K.Smith serving. Game point for her and her partner K.Yates, who gets eaten up by that overhead smash at the feet. That's going to be a side out, and you'd consider that a good timeout taken by the Newmans. It's always nice to get a stop right after a timeout. 7-10-1. K.Yates under pressure here. Newman's obviously deciding to pressure her and to take their time, see if she's going to go a little too early on that attack. They'll hit to Kyle once in a while to keep him honest. Offensive lob. Yates gets a little bit excited there, overhits that ball. Probably would have been better to play a defensive drop. Give him a chance to get back in the court. 8-10-1. Lindsay Newman serving. And an unforced error off the return of serve. Wondering whether there's a little bit of a mental let up here. Two uncharacteristic errors from Yates in a row. 9-10-1. K.Yates tries to counterattack off that ball, tight to her forehand. And all of a sudden, we're tied at 10. This is a win by 2 game with no cap, so one team will have to get to a 2-point advantage. Wouldn't be surprised to see another offensive lob here, this time over K.Yates. K.Yates there for the backhand attack. Kyle Yates set it up hard at the Riley Newman forehand. Ball comes back to Smith, and she makes no mistake. 10-10-2. Riley can't quite hang on with that one. That's going to be a side out. And again, we're at 10-10. Ooh, that's going to be a costly mistake for Newman. We're going to stay here, even though we're at a quick hydration break. We're going to tell you about a couple of the sponsors that made this possible. Onyx Pickleball, Vulcan Pickleball, Paddletech, C&D Pickleball Nets, Selkirk Sport, Pickleball Central, and your friends over at Third Shot Sports. Sponsors here of the Pro Pickleball Association Tour. And without the sponsors, it's impossible to put on such a great event. One thing you may find interesting, you probably can't see it when you're watching at home, is that Riley and Newman and Lindsay Newman are sitting about 30 feet away from one another on their timeouts. Meanwhile, K.Yates and K.Yates talking to each other. Now, you may think that that's because Newman and Newman are not very happy with one another, but that's actually not the case. That's just kind of the way they operate. Lindsay Newman especially likes to have a little bit of alone time on timeouts. She and her brother understand how they play. 11-10-1, we've got a game point here. K.Yates serving deep to Lindsay Newman. That return of serve goes just long, and that's going to be the game. A solid serve leads to an unforced error, and game number 1, 12-10. K.Yates, they're in the lead. We're going to be back in a minute with game number 2 coming up here in Mesa. Okay. Johnny's going to join us. We have both mics.
What's up, man? How are you? Good to see you.
So,
for a minute. I'm gonna
yeah,
maybe
you can take it.
between you. I'm just gonna shout these guys out so people understand.
Sure. Do you want the mic?
That's right, pickleball addicts. How are you feeling out there? Are you staying hydrated? Well, your friends at Jigsaw Health want to remind you that it's fun to feel good. And they have electrolyte samples. Electrolytes are good for your body. I promise you, in this hot Arizona sun, it's arid, it's dry. You need electrolytes.
Guys, we want to thank our sponsors that we have here today. We've got some great sponsors at the Pickleball Central tent. We've got Onyx, Vulcan, Paddletech. These great nets that are here are supplied by C&D Pickleball Nets. They're some of the best pickleball nets you can buy. We've got Selkirk Sport, Pro Connects, K-Swiss, and Creamies. So we're really grateful for all of them, and we're really grateful for Onyx for supplying the DuraFast 40 ball, which is the official ball of the PPA. And don't forget about Jigsaw Health. They've made a huge splash here with their coming out party with the PPA. It's fun to feel good. If you want to feel good, make sure you stop by the big green tent. Thanks, guys.
Make sure you don't sponsor.
You're a prodigy.
We'll have to listen to that later.
All right, and we are back live here in Mesa, Arizona. Grand Slam qualifier. This is mixed doubles pro. C.Smith, K.Yates, they won game number 1, and they're out to an early start, 1-0-2. And during the break,
Yeah.
we had someone knocking at the door here at the broadcast
That's
booth.
it. I was standing by on the left.
And we'll talk more about him right after this point.
Yeah, it's a good one. Little dink battle. Isolating Cali. Look at him go.
All right, and with the end of that point, so any of you who've been on the broadcast with me before, we know that we love to have guests here in the booth, and we also love to encourage you to try to guess who they are at home. So,
Yeah.
you know what? I'll hand it over to you to do the play-by-play for this next point, and we'll
Okay,
see if
perfect.
it gives away a little bit who your identity is.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough. Here we go. Riley to serve. Kyle rushing up. Obviously, they're switching. And here's Callie going right up at the line at Lindsay. Overshoots it right behind her, and that one sails long.
Not bad. No correct guesses yet, so we'll give you one more point.
That's okay. There's Callie with rocking the gold shoes. I like it, man. Gold and white. That's what's up. Nice drop shot by Riley. And here they're going to isolate Callie with the dink a little bit more. Dinking like they're in Florida, where I'm from. How about that? Maybe I can drop the hit.
There you go.
Tried the Ernie. She almost had it clip the top of the net, and now she's still okay with it, though. It was a good idea.
Yeah, so one of the things that players at home might find helpful is the distinction between a decision-making error and an execution error. And what do you think over that? In that last one, going for the Ernie, was that which category would you put that mistake in? A execution mistake or a decision mistake?
Oh, that's too good. Sorry, I got caught up in the moment with the point on that one, so Callie splitting the difference.
Yeah, I was just saying how some mistakes are you make the right choice, you just don't execute well, and other mistakes are you made the wrong decision in the first place.
Yeah, I think she made the right choice on trying to go for the Ernie, mix it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Give them something they haven't seen. First game was great. She probably tried it a couple times here. I came in a little bit late, but mix it up. Why not? Last thing you want is to be predictable right now, especially with the Newmans.
All right, that ball barely clips the line. It's called in. And a number of people they've now guessed. Johnny Pickleball Andrews is here in the house right now.
Nice.
Johnny, love having you here in Mesa with us.
Oh,
Brian,
yeah, I love being here. This is great. I've never been to Arizona, so a little dry.
It is
It's
dry.
good, but at least I have Jigsaw Health to help me hydrate with my Electrolyte Supreme.
That's right. All right, back to the match. Score is 1-3-1 here.
Look at Mr. Yates. Nice little forehand roller. And now, keep going. Keep going. There it is.
And wasn't that funny as that it was going further and further over, and as Smith continued to move further and further to her left, Riley Newman moved with
I thought
her.
Callie bought like VIP tickets there. She was in the front row where they were at, man. Very nice. There's that 1-2 punch she does, Mark.
Yeah, so effective. One of the things we were talking about earlier today, Johnny, is how important it is for top players, and this is something that players at home can work on, is even when they hit that ball hard, to assume that it's coming back at them and to assume that it's coming back with speed. And so, we were talking with Lee Waters about that sort of, using the first one to set up the second.
Yeah, absolutely. They always look for the 1-2 punch combination, maybe after 3 or 4 balls. You never know sometimes, but they're always understanding that they're about to start a fight and the ball's coming back faster.
All right, Lindsay Newman takes over serving here, 3-2-1. They had a close game, but they lost 10-12 in game number 1 in this main draw match here. Pro mixed doubles on day number 2 here at the PPA event in Mesa, Arizona.
That's it. Great ball by Callie. I just had the privilege of meeting Callie. We've crossed paths a few times, but we finally got to meet and hit a little bit yesterday. And yeah, I got to see some of the power come off of that paddle.
She's got a really distinctive technique, Johnny Callie. Sometimes, how would I describe it? Is like really sort of very strong, like rigid angles, like the way that she holds her paddle up at almost this 90-degree angle, and
short, abbreviated motions, but very, very powerful. Oh, great hands, good dig. Nice long point. Oh, that's a great redirect. Very nice. She's into it.
Yeah, and it's funny. You see Kyle just sort of smile, and he kind of knows what to do, right? When she's sort of feeling that wave, and she's happy, and she's like going. It's just like, get out of the way, let her do her thing.
He's there for moral support right now. I'll call that a heat check.
Okay, so what do you think? So in that case, like earlier in the match, we were seeing that Newmans were mostly targeting K.Smith.
Yeah, isolating.
Yeah, which was to be expected when anyone who's playing with Kyle is likely to see more balls. But now as she's sort of starting to fire up a little bit and she's feeling good, Newmans seem to keep going at her. But I'm wondering whether
I would assume that they're going to start. I would think that they would start mixing it up a little bit. Maybe go with Kyle some, and then see if he's lost out of rhythm. But then he keeps proving to them over and over and over, no, I'm fine.
Well, I mean.
But there it just happened, and so
right, and here's your best choice. It's like, oh, his partner is playing too well, so let's start hitting to K.Yates.
Right.
I mean, that's not a great plan B.
I think maybe what they do is probably set up Callie to move her out wide a little bit more, make Kyle kind of move out of position, and then try to go behind him. But it's the same thing you want to do.
Lindsay Newman so strong on that forehand volley, setting up outside the court.
Already sitting on it a little bit, kind of had to do something acrobatic, but comes up big.
You know what I'm waiting to see? I'm wondering. Maybe I won't say. I don't want to give it away. We were talking before about when a player stands way off to one side, like if they're setting up for an Ernie, and we see that often from Lindsay Newman. Sort of what kind of vulnerabilities that creates, and I wonder sometimes about like a lob, a down the line lob over Lindsay. She's a tall player, but when she's that close to the net, I don't know.
Again, why not mix it up and try it, right? Could be interesting. But are you risking Riley coming over this forehand and slamming that down at you?
If she's on the left side, he'll be
okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's an around the post.
Oh, that's
called just
close. I don't know
wide.
what they said, just wide.
Referee agrees. Ball is just wide. Lindsay thought she had it lined up. So that'd be an example of again, that question, was that the right decision and bad execution, or a poor decision?
I mean, in the heat of the moment, it gets really interesting. You have to make those split hair decisions, and is the ball wide enough? I don't know, tough call sometimes.
All right, we're going to stay with this, even though they're taking a quick break. So, Johnny, now that I've got you, I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure, perfect.
I'm going to ask you a question that we've been asking a few of the different people that we've had here in the booth.
Okay.
And so I got a theory that I'm working on.
Uh-oh.
And I'm using this weekend to sort of test out that theory, see what some other people think.
Nice, yeah.
So, conventional wisdom is you return the serve deep.
Okay.
Right? Right? You tell people return deep because, if those guys drive it from far away, at least they're behind the baseline, you got lots of time to handle it.
Yeah.
So here's my theory, right? I'm starting to see it a little bit more. I think in 2020, we're going to really see a breakout of the short and low return. A deliberately short, a deliberately low, often with backspin, return a serve, landing not too far past the kitchen line. And here's why. Because from that position, so close to the net, so low, having to hit up, the players cannot play a solid drive at full speed and still hope to keep the ball in play, right? It is another way of neutralizing the opponents.
Right.
This time with a priority over the height of the ball rather than its depth.
Okay.
What do you think? Am I crazy?
No, I think that's actually a really interesting observation that you maybe just because of the fact that every time people do it, it's usually unintentional. And when they do, they get a success off of it, but they don't realize it.
I've tried a lot of other products, plenty of electrolyte mixes. They either contain some sort of sugar in them or something to give you a boost for a little while, but eventually it runs out.
Jigsaw products help me stay competitive. They help me stay energized.
It's helped me become a better player.
Jigsaw helps me recover faster.
I think all of you need Jigsaw help in your life. And you know why?
It's fun to feel good.
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 It's fun to feel good. Cheers.
All right, we are back here at the Mesa Tennis Center. Pro Pickleball Association Grand Slam qualifier here. 6-5-1 is the score here on day number 2. Pro mixed doubles. There it is. There's that short, low return, slice.
And you try to tee off on it, it's too low, and you actually probably miss it more than not. I agree with you a little bit, but I think mixing it up again is still important to keep your opponents off balance. But I got to see more.
All right,
That's
all right.
it. I don't think you're crazy, though. Let me put it that way. Okay, I'll summarize.
That's
that
reassuring. That is reassuring.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Brooks M. Wiley agrees with me that the short return, there's a good thought process, but difficult to execute. And it's true. If you're hitting a short return, you better make sure you keep that ball low enough, or else if it's sitting up high, you're now asking for a mouthful of pickleball.
Yeah.
Riley Newman tries to catch K.Yates covering over to the middle too much. It's tough to do when the ball's low and you've got to go over the high part of the net like that.
Okay, let's see if Kyle
floats it deep. I mean,
you know, is it just high risk, high return, high reward? High risk, high reward by doing that, though? Because everything's percentages in this game a lot of times, right? So if you think about it, if you try to do it, it's a high risk. It's a nice drive by Callie, though. Again, there's the isolation. Pulled her out just wide enough.
There have been a lot of generous calls on this sideline over here. Not just in this match. It was close, and you can see she took a second look at it. You know, the sportsmanship here amongst these players. One of the things people have been noticing is that there are no line judges in the pro matches, and even in the medal matches, there's no line judges, and it's largely because the players have so much respect for one another.
Yeah.
They're going to be so honest with those calls, and a number of times we've seen them even being, you know, a ball that I think you wouldn't get a lot of argument for calling it out, and they still played it. So 5-6-1.
Another close game. You see that, Mark? What do you think that Callie and so obviously they're attacking. She's trying the 1-2 punch here, pushing them back. And it's working some, but is there something Kyle can do to try to maybe start taking over his game a little bit? Just to put some pressure off of Callie? Hold on. Good point. Great point right now. And there it is.
Riley gets the ball
Callie,
stuck.
Callie.
Nice coach.
Kyle Yates, come on, young man. Let's go.
So, to answer your question, Johnny, yeah, there are things he could do, right? He could be more aggressive with the poaching. He could come much further over. But here's the thing, is that if your partner is able to withstand the pressure, and you're right, Callie just hit 1,000,000 balls in a row, and then how did she finish it? She finished it with winning the point. And so if I'm Kyle, sort of like we said earlier, if your partner's on fire, just kind of stay out of their way, right? Right? If Kyle
there's Yerny, nice setup.
Right? Now Kyle gets the glory for the put away, but he knows that he didn't. He's not the
Absolutely.
one who set that up. It was Callie staying in the point with those dinks, going for that Ernie, setting things up. And so, yeah, if you have confidence that your partner can withstand the pressure, there's no need to try to take over. And I've got to say,
Top one.
you know, when you're like in Callie's position there, how much confidence must she feel the fact that Kyle is just kind of letting her play her game, right? Hanging back, letting her do her thing. Right?
Well, especially, but I mean, it's one of those things that when, you know, if she's hitting her shots right now, you know, she's hitting her shots so she has confidence in it, and she's building off it, and Kyle's obviously, you know, encouraging her to do so. I think if she started missing a few, maybe Kyle would intervene a little bit more just to get her pumped up again. You know what I mean? Just to get that confidence back. So, and that's a good partnership. And obviously, I think this is a pretty new partnership at that. So.
Yeah, one of the exciting things about this Pro Pickleball Association Tour is the number of different partnerships that we're seeing. Earlier, we saw Tyson McGuffin and Lee Waters playing together, and that was Tyson referred to it as their second date ever. their second time playing together.
Nice.
We saw Irina Terashenko out with Eric Lang earlier. I'm not sure I've seen that matchup before, which has been
Adam Stone and Andrew Coop.
Yep. All right, with this quick break, we're going to take a quick break as well. We're going to be back in a moment. More from the PPA Grand Slam Qualifier, Mesa, Arizona.
Nice.
Who wants some great swag?
All right, here we are, guys. Johnny Pickleball here on the mic, man. Mesa, Arizona. Lindsay trying to get up there. And there's Riley to kind of intervene a little bit. Kyle wants to get involved now. I'm digging it. She's going right at him. She's getting it.
L.Smith still feeling it. Reminder that you can still come down and watch. We've got great action all today and all through the weekend. Tomorrow we're going to see men's pro doubles.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be fun.
And on Sunday we're going to see some singles action here.
Also going to be fun. Yeah, I look forward to getting on the court and get after it, and especially in singles this weekend. That's going to be great. And great weather at that. Here comes the isolation. Look at Mr. Yates being perfectly patient, waiting for his opportunity.
There we go.
Callie taking care of business once again.
6-8-1 is the score. Callie Smith, there's the opportunity. Yeah.
Well, Callie did the right shot trying to get behind Riley, but you know he just guessed correctly on that one. That was nice. Good reach by him, obviously. There's the switching. Wow, great dig. Let's go. Seriously. Welcome to Mesa. What's happening? Look at Kyle. Come on, man.
Kyle's not even sure.
He doesn't even know what to say right now.
And you know what? He's not saying much to her, right? He high fives. He high fives her. He smiles. Just let her do her thing. Let's see right now if all of a sudden Yates starts to see a few more balls, trying to cool off Smith again. She's the one who's got to encourage him. Come on, Kyle.
I think she just kind of like, let's go. Join me. Welcome. There she goes. All right, there it was. I liked it, though. I like it. Keep going.
(8-7-1) is the score. Newman's trying to cling to this lead and build on it if they can.
Interesting.
Oh, that's tough.
An interesting pattern there for a second. Just kept going in the same one.
9-7-1. Reminder, this is the best 2 out of 3 match here in this main draw event. Pro mixed doubles. Yates and Smith won game number 1.
Oh, a little ambitious. Riley trying to cut across.
I love watching Lindsay try to encourage the ball to get over the net by kicking her leg in the air. Yeah.
It's a great show. Got to put on a show as well at the same time. You never know. There's the Ernie.
Callie was ready for it. So that's a really nice example.
She had a little bit more time on that one.
Yeah, and it's a really good example of like being attentive, right? Knowing how your team is winning and losing points. I mean, she was ready for that partly because she has seen the patterns that the Newmans have used up to this point, right? And so how you play a match later on in the contest can be quite different than how you play it earlier on.
you really actually through all of this, and even though, a little bit of less pressure obviously on Kyle and Callie right now, seeing that, they won the first game. However, through these tight matches and stuff, you really see how much of a veteran of the game Kyle is, as calm as he is throughout all of this. Even while Callie's missing or making the shots regardless, he's pretty much keeping his cool, pretty much even keel, unless it's just to encourage her. No way. Great get. Kyle trying to go behind. Let's go.
Wow.
What a point, though. I wouldn't even be mad about it if I was Callie on that one. That's a great get over.
I mean, what a great example of how, how much pickleball is primarily a game about movement, right? You can have the nicest swing anyone's ever seen, but if you can't set up to the ball, it doesn't really matter. And the amount these players are moving, these little adjustment steps in order to set up. Meanwhile, right now, with that missed return of serve, we've got 10-7-1 and a game point here for Newman and Newman. 10-7-1 to send this to a third.
Just amazing points.
And with that, we are going the distance here.
Oh, perfect.
In this Grand Slam qualifier. K.Yates, C.Smith take game 1. The Newmans take game number 2. We're going to go to a quick break, and we're going to be back for game number 3 here in Mesa.
Give the crowd what they want.
So between Third Shot Sports, the Pickleball Lab, and Pickleball Coaching International, we got you covered.
Dude was dying. He looked like he ate bad Taco Bell. It's just anguish.
All right, welcome back to Championship Court Mesa Tennis Center here in Mesa, Arizona. And we have been treated to a terrific pro mixed doubles match so far. R.Newman and Lindsay Newman took game number 2.
Yeah. Johnny Pickleball here with you, Mark. Man, let's get it on. Let's go.
After K.Yates and C.Smith won game number 1. I am joined alongside Johnny Pickleball.
Yeah, welcome. Third game. We were talking about in between in the break for a second if there's any adjustments, but, honestly.
Yeah, I think, sometimes.
Clean it up a little bit, and I think they're okay, right, for Callie and Kyle.
Well, it's a little bit of another version of our discussion before about decision-making errors versus execution-making errors. And sometimes it's true that you make a mistake because you have the wrong strategy. You're not playing, right? Yeah. And sometimes it's like, no, we had the right strategy. We just need to execute. So in that example, right, Callie trying to return to Lindsay Newman, fine strategy, but she's got to make that shot. And so I think that both teams being as tight as they were in these first 2 games, it's going to be more about execution rather than changing what they're doing.
Well, it's one of those things, who's going to initiate first? And so obviously on this exchange throughout all of this, Callie initiated first.
And last.
It's a good point. Fair enough. We'll see who wants to put the pressure on a little bit, but yeah, you got to be able to finish it off. It's just easier said than done, obviously. In this third game, I predict Kyle's going to try to take over a little bit more, though. If he can.
All right, we'll see. There's that lob we were talking about earlier, possibly going high over Smith. Oh, 5-0. And Callie going to take it. We're going to stay here with this. Let's say a word about a couple of the sponsors that make this possible. Pro Connects, K-Swiss, Creamy's Ice Cream, Durafast 40, and Jigsaw Health. Of course, these tournaments are expensive to put on, take a lot of resources, a lot of effort, and without those companies supporting it, you just can't get this kind of quality. You're watching this live stream courtesy of Pro Pickleball Media. Carl Schmitz and the team there make this look as good as it does with the help of Logitech, the cameras, the computers, the monitors, the headphones, the audio, the mics. That is all courtesy of Logitech. If you're just joining us, I'm Mark Renison alongside Johnny Pickleball Andrews.
Absolutely.
In Southwest Florida.
Yeah. Got to represent the East Coast, Mark.
I love it down there. I'll be there in
It's
not too long from now. We got more great pickleball action happening in Florida. It's amazing that there's so many great tournaments all over North America right now.
There's like
502.
A lot going on. Oh, cool. And here starts the isolation. Another gracious possible call on that sideline. There's Kyle sitting on it. He was ready for it. So are they. Here we go. That's really good play by Kyle. And there, I'm telling you, Mark, I think he's going to take over, man. He's going to try to insert himself a little bit more just to take a little pressure off of Callie on this third game.
Yep.
It's like I know the man.
Johnny Pickleball Andrews, of course, training partner of K.Yates in Florida.
Come on. And there he is again. How about that? Welcome to the game, Kyle.
1-5-1. Smith and Yates have some work to do here if they're going to claw their way back here in game number 3.
There he is.
Now, I guess, Johnny, maybe you can say something, having that insight, having played with Kyle, both on the same side of the court and the opposite side, is that communication about, okay, yeah, I mean, as a general rule, you might say, all right, I'm going to start to take over a little bit more in the middle.
Yep.
But how do you differentiate? Like, how far is that middle? How far?
Enough to where your opponents feel you. That's it. That he just wants to make him feel the pressure of him. Now he's gone for the last few points. He's jumped in here. He's put some pressure on the Newmans to just make it aware that, hey, I'm here. And so now they might have just tightened up a little bit on the last one there. Just feeling his presence. It's wild.
All right, we're going to go to a 30-second break, and then we're going to come back with more from game number 3 here at the Pro Pickleball Association Grand Slam in Mesa. All right, we're back. Callie Smith serving at 3-5-1.
Yeah, they were down 0-5. Now it's 3-5. Kyle's starting to insert himself a little bit.
That forehand drive going a little bit long. We've got 3-5-2.
Kyle standing right on the middle line now.
That's what you talked about earlier, Johnny, is sometimes going out cross court to Kyle. There we go.
It, yep.
Trying to keep him honest, trying to open up some space where the Newmans can isolate Smith.
Yeah, if he's going to push over a bunch and they're going to go straight up at Callie. Oh, and there it is. Nice play by her.
Four, 5-2. Yates and Smith making a little bit of a run here.
Nice pickup by Callie.
Ah, there we go. So
okay.
that's kind of what I was talking about, right? How far over is the middle, right? 10 minutes ago, that would clearly be Kylie's ball.
Kyle's ball,
Kylie's ball. Would have been Kylie's ball, right?
You're right.
She would have taken that earlier. And now that Kyle's being a little more active in the middle, but I think, it's kind of like when you, in other sports where the teams play zone defense, right? One of the tricks is to...
Oh, this is a real big scramble point right now.
One of the tricks against zone defense is to try to find that seam, that space where it can be a little bit ambiguous about who's going to take that ball and who's not. Okay, we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to be back in a second with more. The completion of game number 3 here in Pro Mixed Doubles from Mesa.
Pickleball is very, very different. 8 to 10 matches in one day, and each match could be 45 minutes. Being able to start and go and stop is very, very challenging. When I'm taking Jigsaw Health supplements, I have the confidence to stay out there all day, and I can stay focused, energized, and cramp-free. I wouldn't recommend Jigsaw Health to any of my opponents. You guys continue drinking whatever you're drinking right now.
All right, we're back. Lindsay Newman delivering her serve to K.Yates, and these four are going to battle up close to that non-volley line.
There's the attack by Callie. I'm sure she was actually waiting on the ball to come back high so that she could put it away, but she'll probably take that.
6-4-2.
See if they can get a side out here. Oh, the Ernie try.
And again, there's always that moment, right, when you go on something aggressive like that to ask yourself, did I do the right thing there, or was that a... This ball goes just a little bit long. Again, another
That's
example
tough.
of the low return of serve.
Yeah, it's tough.
Right, against players who like to hit that third shot hard. 4-6-2.
Going right back to her.
All
Nice
right.
low ball by Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay Newman, she finds just the right spot. Wasn't hit at full speed, but found the right spot. Difficult for Smith to counterattack on that. 6-4-1.
Yeah.
Oh, dodged a bit of a bullet there.
Yeah, they did.
Now, even though some players at home might... All right, and with that quick TV timeout, we're going to be back in a second.
Wow,
yeah, let's see the companies making this tournament possible. So I realized in the past... Oh, that's okay. That's cool. Back live here on Championship Court in Mesa, Arizona. PPA Grand Slam Qualifier. Great treat of a match today. 7-4-1 in game number 3. Riley Newman serving to K.Yates.
Let's see how much Kyle gets involved here. Oh, as much as he can anyway, but... And go to work. Here we go, Callie. Enjoy. Keep Kyle honest a little bit. Come on back to the center. Nice little digs there by the Newmans. Oh, nice slam down the middle. There's Callie putting away. All right. Let the golden shoes do the dance. I like it.
Just a quick reminder that after this match, we've got more amazing pickleball action you're going to want to stay tuned for. I'm going to be doing an on-court interview with the winners of this match. And after this, we're going to have Tyson McGuffin and Lee Waters. They're returning to Championship Court. They're going to take on Simone Jardim and Ben Johns.
Ben Johns.
That will be another treat. It's really an embarrassment to riches here at the PPA Grand Slam Qualifier with the quality of play and the quantity of high-level play. But that's what happens when there's a lot of money at stake. 8-4-2, Lindsay Newman serving.
Kyle getting involved again. Here we go. Oh, a little dropper. Riley gets there. Nice little scramble. Get the wheels turning. Here we go. Another drop. Oh, Lindsay's turn. There it is. Great point there. Little puppet master action by Mr. Yates. Little puppet master action. How about that? I don't think he's concerned, Mark.
Well, they got some work to do if they want to
That's true.
pull this one out. 481, K.Smith. There's that low short return we talked about. A lot of spin. The best Smith is able to do is to play a good drop.
There's that forehand sailing a little bit.
Well left by Lindsay Newman. There is a little bit of wind at the back of Smith and Yates. It's a ball that earlier in the match may have stayed in play. Even Kyle's serve there nearly went long.
Kyle looking for the opportunity to poach. Riley keeping him honest. Nice hands by Riley. And back to the isolation.
And there it is again, 2 times in a row now. Smith felt like she had it lined up again. There is that little bit of a breeze going, pushing that ball. Looks like Lindsay.
Confusion.
No, I think what it is, I think Lindsay's bleeding.
Must have been on the slide when she came up on about 2 points ago.
All right, we're going to take a referee's timeout here as Lindsay Newman gets a little bit of first aid over there. Little mop-up job, and we'll be back in with more here from Mesa. Mark Redison and Johnny Pickleball.
Is this an amazing match or what, you guys? Put your hands together right now. Holy cow. Game 3. I want to remind you, if you're on Facebook, go to Pro Pickleball and share this live stream right now at this exact moment. 496. Come on. We can get that above 500. Facebook Pro Pickleball. Share the live feed. Let everybody know you're having a great day at PPA Mesa. Day number 2, mixed doubles. This pro match is amazing.
I like that though. I do.
All right, Lindsay Newman has got her medical attention.
Her Band-Aid. She got her Band-Aid.
She got a Band-Aid.
She got a Band-Aid.
Wow, look at Riley Newman ready for that poach, sitting on that backhand.
Riley has these like moves where he just cuts across. He looks like Inspector Gadget. You know what I mean? He's just kind of running around.
9-4-1, just 2 points away, and importantly, they're on their first server here, so that frees them up to play pretty aggressively. I'd expect to see here. The Newman's really taking it to Yates and Smith. There's a kitchen violation by Riley Newman.
On it. Don Stanley not even doing it. Man, these guys are good. There's that leg kick. Willing the ball to get in. Ten 10-4-2. Here we go, Mark. See if they can get a hold here and try to make a run. Kyle keeping Lindsay back. Going behind Riley.
And there it is. Lindsay Newman and Riley Newman. They take down K.Yates and K.Smith.
That's a great match, though.
In an amazing 3-game match. Wow. Johnny Pickleball, final comments on this?
What an amazing match. The Newmans really came out swinging hard and just stayed patient enough to kind of move around and isolate Callie for a little bit, but just kind of, were more consistent and solid towards the end there. Good stuff. Thanks for having me, Mark.
On-court interview with the players. And we've got Simone Jardim and Ben Johns coming up in a moment with Tyson McGuffin and Lee Waters. Johnny, will you come back and join us again this weekend?
Absolutely. Going to be here all weekend playing
Amazing.
men's pro doubles and men's pro singles.
Great, thanks.
Coming up next, oh boy.
Pickleball and I were in there watching you, and thoughts, comments, observations on that match?
You know, I don't think we played our best pickleball on that match, but you know, finding ways to win ugly is always good. I'm glad my sister's okay after the bloody knee. You know, she's a warrior. Give it up for my sister.
All right, and we were talking about one of the things that's so impressive, Lindsay, about you two as a team is your willingness to sort of put everything on the line, to stretch out, to get balls back that you think are impossible to get back. Tell us a little bit about the recovery afterwards. You guys can be ready to go for the next match after such a grueling fight out here?
We better be, yeah. I mean, we had, our bellies are a little full because of the Chick-fil-A, so hopefully by now it's kind of passed through and we'll be a little lighter on the feet and ready to go for the next one.
All right, Joel, thanks a lot. We'll let you go get ready for that next match. And everyone, you're going to want to stay close. We've got Simone Jardim and Ben Johns coming up against Lee Waters and Tyson McGuffin.